But we are going to bring you a bunch of previews. So we'll start off with the monster card next week, UFC 319. It's going to be from Chicago, Illinois. And that's going to be the middleweight champion, Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. What a fight. I can't wait for this. Du Plessis won 11 fights in a row now. He has not lost in the UFC. And Chimaev, little inactive. His last fight was in 2023 versus Usman. I should say his last fight was in 2024 versus Whitaker and only had one fight in 2023. Don't know if that's going to play a problem or a role in this fight, but I just want to get right into it. The challenger, Chimaev, enters as a 2-1 favorite. What do you make of this one? What can we expect?
I've been quoting a few guys today. I'm going to stay consistent on that path. I'm going to quote a childhood friend of yours, Lenny, one of your best friends, if not your best friend, that you grew up with. I'm going to quote Lenny. Oh, boy. All right, that's for you, Len. Oh, boy. That's what I say about this fight. Oh, boy. Man, I mean, if there is a boogeyman out there for Chimaev, who is the ultimate boogeyman right now, if there is, it's this guy. I don't know if there is. He's that good. I mean, he just broke Whitaker's head like you break a can when you put it in a vice. I know that's graphic, but it's pretty to the point. It's pretty straight on. Where you might as well have seen Whitaker's head put into a vice. That's what he did. He just broke it. I think the fights that have really formed him have been the Burns fight and the Usman fight. I think those fights solidified, from a mental standpoint, what he needed to have solidified, which is the answers to questions that he may have still had about himself. Do I belong at this level? Am I at this level? Can I handle this level? Which I don't think he had any doubts, but you still have to get the assurance from experience. Nothing replaces doing it. Nothing replaces the truth that experience is. Experience is the truth. That's what experience is. It's the truth. And it let him know, yeah, it helped him get better. As I said, just poured the glue over all the tools, the ability, the qualities that he has. And before I move on to Du Plessis, Chimaev is so strong. He is so freaking strong. But he is also not just strong in a physical sense. The reason he's so great is because he's strong in the mental sense. We've seen plenty of guys strong physically, but mentally, that's where their undoing comes. He is strong. He believes nobody's beating him. He's that guy. He is that strong mentally. And he is fighting a guy now that may be able to match him physically. I mean, we know how big Du Plessis is, but that's how strong he is. He might be able to match him with physical strength. I'm not saying he can match. Here's where it gets a little tricky, where a little dicey, where the handicapping comes in. And one of the reasons why, it's going to be an interesting fight. And obviously a fight where Chimaev would be the favorite. But Chimaev technically, with that physical strength, is better. He's a little better, especially on the floor. I mean, I don't know if anybody's matching him on the floor. But Du Plessis is the ultimate, don't judge a book by its cover. That's him. That saying was made for Du Plessis. You look at him, big, strong guy, strong. But you say, well, he's crude, he's raw, he's this. He's not, I don't think he's that good over here. I don't think he's that good over there. And then you open up the book and you say, again, to quote our boy Lenny, oh boy, whoa, look at this book. The cover never got me ready or prepared me for what's inside. That's Du Plessis. That's Du Plessis. He is better than he looks. He really is. And we've seen those guys. I've seen those guys in boxing. You watch them shadow boxing. You watch him in the gym, you say, this guy's very beatable. And then you get in the ring with him, and he's not. He's not only strong, he not only punches hard, but all of a sudden you say, oh my God, he's tricky, he's this, he's better than I thought he was. He's awkwardly clever. Whatever you want to put on it to explain it. That's Du Plessis. Very interesting fight. Very interesting. And I always talk about at the end of the day, do they have the mental makeup to match the physical? Du Plessis does. He does. He's another guy along the lines of Chimaev. He's right there in lane with him. Right there. Where he believes he's going to beat you. He doesn't. He will find a way. You're not beating him. So this is really, I can't go if I'm going to give you a pick. It's hard. It's hard to go against picking Chimaev. But if I were, this would be the guy. This would be the guy. I don't see anybody. I'm going to put weight aside now. We can't put weight aside. They're in those weight classes. I understand that, bud. But if we put weight aside, the only guy I could see with the package physically, technically, mentally, that comes close to someone I would say, yeah, I could see him beating Chimaev, that would be Topuria. That's how I look at it. You know, if he was the same weight. If he was the same weight. That would be the only guy. Because Topuria, to me, is in that special place. You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying from the striking standpoint. Obviously, like you said, much smaller man. If there's somebody that could maybe match the wrestling prowess, it could be an Islam Makhachev, another much smaller man.
Well, Makhachev and even Marab.
Yeah, the motor, the relentlessness, the groundwork. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chimaev does put himself in a special class. Again, getting back to him and Du Plessis is better striking than he looks. He's better on the floor than he looks. There's no doubt where the big advantage is it's on the floor. But Chimaev also looks good striking. He's powerful. He's so strong. Like I said, he's so mentally consistent. But on the floor, on the mat, the wrestling, I mean, that's where he stands out. Du Plessis, you would think, is going to try to keep it on his feet, striking. At the same point, Du Plessis will have the attitude, and I think I heard him talk on this a little bit, and it made sense, where he have the attitude and the approach going into this fight where, hey, he'll get me on the ground. You know, he's talking about it, get me on the ground. Obviously, that's his world. He'll get me on the ground, but I'll get up. See, that's the thing. He said, but I'll get up. And then he might get me on the ground again. I'll get up again. And he'll start to tire a little bit. And he'll start to realize I'm in there with a different animal. I'm in there with a different animal this time. And then I will start to do the things I do. That's the attitude of a guy who's the underdog, the guy who's in the fight of his life, and the guy who has a chance to upset the apple cart, which would be a pretty good upset.